gun that I bought for this, to do this project with. Previously I just gone and used a just regular Harbor Freight gun. While they work, I mean, they're not the best things in the world you can make do with them, but they do have their issues. So what I ended up picking up here is I picked up a Dolbus starting line kit. This is a 2-gun kit. Comes with a finished gun and a detail gun. The finished gun has got a 1.3 tip, which is installed in it now, and a 1.8 tip for primer. In the side over here with all the tools and everything. So I mean, this is a really nice kit. I really like the aluminum containers that comes with it. They're a lot easier to clean out, and a lot easier to maintain than the HDPE ones that usually come with some of the cheap models, the plastic ones. Yeah, so when I do the engine bay, I'm going to be using the detail gun on that. And I'll go through first and get all the nooks and crannies with the detail gun, and then once I get all those set, then I'm going to switch over to the finished gun with the 1.3 tip, and then I'll hit all the main areas in one fell swoop. That'll allow me to use the smaller gun to get into the smaller areas, which I won't be able to get into with the big gun. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing set up real fast. I just got to get the air regulator on it, make sure it's adjusted, make sure it's clean on it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so according to instructions on this, we're wanting 10 psi at the tip. So I've currently got, well, just on this setup here, I've got it set to about 100 psi, but I use everything on this line here. On my dry air line, which I'll show you guys later, I'll adjust that probably down to about 60 psi, just to keep my flow going through the lines. So, but yeah, so we got this adjusted down. So when it says 10 psi at the tip, what that means is that with the trigger depressed, you should have 10 psi coming out right here at the gun. So I usually bring it up probably about 1 or 2 psi up, because this reading here is showing, because you want 10 psi at the tip, so you may lose 1 or 2 psi as it goes through the gun. Little's not going to help you, but then again, I mean, this is just a base setting here. Once I actually go to spray, then I'll make all the adjustments right there when I actually go to spray. So. Okay, so it is paint time. So, what I've got here is I've got 2 gallons of Kirker Black Diamond. This is their medium charcoal gray metallic. I've had the can sitting upside down for a little while. It'll help whatever sediments we got sitting on the bottom of the cans, it help release it. And because what we're gonna do is, since I have 2 gallons of the same color here, and colors can vary between cans, we're going to take both of these cans and mix them together. Not completely, but we're gonna do a little bit with it, just to make sure that my colors are the same between both gallons. So if one is a little bit darker, one's a little bit lighter, we take both gallons of paint, mix it together, and we will have the same shade of paint. So first things first, I'm gonna get these packaging clips off. These are the clips they put on for mailing items out through mail, since this is considered a hazardous material here. So, now if you'll notice, I'm working on top of my my parts washer and my breakaway table here, and I've got some paper laid down because I have a feeling I'm probably going to make a mess with this stuff, but we will see. I try my best not to, but I doubt that's gonna happen. So, yeah, so there we go. And it's not very well mixed, so the color's gonna be a little off on that, but this is gonna be a mess. I can tell already. I hate gallons of paint, I always have. I have a nice little silicone pour spout, but I've been using latex paint in it, so I can't really use it for this. So, and this is just a 2-gallon HDPE bucket that I bought, a high density polyethylene bucket that I bought. So it's chemical resistant and everything like that. And we're just gonna use this basically so we have an item, or so we have a container that we can mix these in together. So I get me some paper towels ready here. And let's see how badly we can do this without making a mess. This is worrisome. I have a feeling I'm going to make a mess no matter what I do here. But we're gonna try our damnedest. So, hey, look at that. Not too bad. Not too bad. So, not too shabby. I didn't make a mess. Now, I didn't pour everything out, because what I want to do is I want to take a stir stick here, and I want to hit the bottom of the can, because I don't want to leave any sediment sitting at the bottom of it. So I want to hit the bottom of the can, try to stir up and break up whatever I've got sitting down there. And I don't feel anything, believe it or not. Nope, stick's coming out clean for the most part, so I don't have any buildup. When I did order this stuff, there was a delay in getting it shipped because they didn't have any in stock. So my guess is that what I have is a new batch, which is good. That means it hasn't been sitting on shelves for months at a time, aging and settling. So I got fresh paint, pretty much, which is always a good thing. Okay, so that's all stirred up there. And whenever messing with paint, always have plenty of paper towels and a trash can right next to you, because you're gonna need it. So let's finish pouring the rest of this in here. That's nice. Okay. Yep, nothing sitting on the bottom of the can. That mixed up really well. I'm happy about that. Clean off the edge of this can here real fast. Then we're gonna seal this here up and set it aside. Now we are gonna pour this paint back into these cans once I get it mixed up. The big can, the big plastic tub here is just temporary, just so I have a big enough container that I can mix the two cans together with. But I don't wanna store it long term in there. Because since I'm doing all the panels on the car all separately, it is gonna take me a while to get them all painted. So, okay, so can number 2. Let's hope I have the same luck as I did can number 1 and not make a mess. Ooh. And this stuff is potent. If I wasn't on the microphone talking on video, I'd probably have my mask on right now. Which, truthfully, I probably should have on anyway, but I'll be okay for a few minutes here. Okay, so let's pour half a little bit in here without making a mess. Yay! No mess. Good job. Okay. So, I can't really tell. I think I had some chunks come out on that. Just see here. No, I got nothing sitting on the bottom of the can. So, and you can tell when you, I mean, it's just like latex paint. If paint's been sitting there for long enough, you'll feel when you're stirring it and hitting the bottom there, you'll feel a sludge. Your stir stick will start to drag a little bit. It's running completely smooth across there. I don't feel any sludges. I don't feel it getting stuck or hung up on anything. I did have paper towels out. So that means this stuff is good and it has not settled. So, and that's a little bit, I guess it gives you a little bit of a, see what the color looks like here. Better in the light. It's a dark gray, but it has a lot of metallic in it. So, which will be fun to spray. Okay, let's see if I can get the rest of this can in here without overflowing it, because I still want to hit this with the power mixer some. Okay, So good, I've got enough room here to get the power mixer in here. And that'll be round 2 of trying not to make a mess. So let's take a look. Yep, no buildup in the bottom of the can, so we're good there. So let me wipe off the edge here. And just get the can a little bit cleaned up. No drip on the side. Okay, so get this lid back on. We'll set these cans out of the way for the meantime. Okay, let me just set these out of the way. Now, what I do have here is I've got one of those power drill attachments that I'll be using to stir this stuff up. So, I got the drill on low speed here. So, because the purpose of this is to try to stir this stuff up as best as I could, because I don't have a paint shaker and I don't want to drop the almost $200 to buy one. But we want to get this stuff, because you can see, I don't know if you can catch it on camera, but you can see we've got some light spots and some dark spots, and it's basically just the chemicals just need to be mixed up thoroughly. So we're going to try to stir this stuff up real well and get it nice and even. And then once we do that, we will go ahead and we'll pour it back in the original cans. And that should get rid of my worry on having 2 different cans that are 2 different shades. So, let's see here. So when it comes to cleanup, I actually prefer using acetone over paint thinner. I've seen some people talk about using gun wipe or gun wash or whatever it is. Gun wash is really nothing more than a mixture of acetone and paint thinner. Pretty sure there's actually paint thinner or acetone in paint thinner itself, because paint thinner is a mixture of mineral spirits and a couple other things too. And of course, I buy the dirty can, go figure. So, yeah, because I need to clean up my paint mixing attachment for my drill. I hate these stupid kid things on here. Worthless. Oh, they're all so tight. So I had to walk my happy ass all the way over here, try to find a pair of pliers, so I get the lid on the acetone off. Yeah. There we go. Let's just add that smell to the garage too. So, well, at least it was the acetone I was making the mess with and not the paint. Go figure. I knew I'd make a mess somewhere. I really did. Wow, these containers are about worthless, aren't they? So, that's a good thing I had my paper and everything down. That should absorb it, and plus the wash tank underneath is powder coated, so it'll eat through that in about a week or so. But, yep, so let's get this thing off the drill. And let's get this thing cleaned up before it starts to dry on me. So, yeah, for the most part, I'll usually just let things sit in the acetone. It's really good at eating paint off real fast. But fortunately, this is a little too big, so we're gonna have to do a little hand cleaning here. And on a side note, you know, of course, when you're working on, especially with paint and stuff like that, you know, get the proper gear. get yourself a good mask. You'll pretty much need two kinds. You're going to need just a standard kind of like dust mask for when you're out sanding and all that, to keep that dust out of your lungs and out of your nose and mouth and everywhere else it's going to make its way into. And you're going to need a actual paint mask or respirator mask. You can usually pick those up at Home Depot or whatnot for about 30, 40 bucks. The 3M brands, they work pretty good. I've been using those for a few years now without any issues. Same with the dust masks too. I usually try to get the ones with the one-way breather valves on them. They seem to be a little easier to breathe out of the regular cloth closed ones. After wearing that for a few hours, you'll start to get a little hesitant of breath, just from having to breathe through something that's a little more restrictive than you're normally used to. So, and as for gloves, I buy these nitro gloves online. They're really good. It's a Safety Director. There's a couple different brands I find this stuff in. I usually buy a case of them, which is about 1,000 gloves. There's 10 boxes in a case, so 1,000 gloves. So it's about 500 sets because it's 1,000 individual gloves. And I usually pick up a case for about 45, 50 bucks, which is really good because if you go into stores, if you go into like Home Depot or AutoZone or whatever that sells nitro gloves, you're looking at about probably $14 a box. $12 and $14 a box. And these ones here are these are like 2 mil, 3 mil gloves. These are actually a lot thicker, it doesn't say on there. But these are a little thicker than the normal ones. And I can definitely tell a difference when I bought these, because I was buying the ones at Home Depot for a while. Then I decided, well, let's check online, see if I can find them on cheaper. So I started picking those up, and I can definitely tell the Home Depot ones, after an hour or so, I was breaking them. Not really even doing much. I think it's because my hands sweat so much because of wearing these gloves. I mean, right now, they're absolutely soaked on the inside. And eventually, I think it just wears down the nitrile to the point where it's just gonna tear real easily because I don't know if it gets too moist or what. But yeah, they start to fall apart, especially in the fingertips. They'll start opening up. And it's real light splits, and then they'll just go from there. But these ones here, with them being thicker than the normal ones, I can usually get 3, 4, maybe 5 hours out of them, depending on what I'm doing. Like when I was sanding the engine bay, I would have a pair on the entire time I was sanding, and by the time I get done, I maybe have one finger with a little bit of tear on it. It's usually because I caught like an edge of a weld or something like that. So yeah, so I think we've got this about as clean as we need it to be. That looks good. Probably anything left on it, I'm just gonna wipe off. So, because this is plastic, so it's gonna be porous. So we'll have some stuff stuck in the pores, which is fine. It's not gonna cause any problems with us later. But yeah, so now we're all clean there. So, and as for the acetone, since I'm gonna be using pretty much the same color paint for my base coat, I'll hold on to that container of acetone because I can use it later for other things I need to clean up. Because it's good for a while. So, but yeah, that about wraps it up with the paint here. Our next step is we're going to clean the shop up area a little bit. We're going to basically get the engine bay wiped down with a tack rag, make sure all the dust and all that's off of it. We're gonna set the paint guns up and we're gonna get ready to spray here soon. Okay, so it's been a few hours now since we sprayed. Everything looks great. The paint came out really great. I don't have any modeling on here. Don't have any orange peel that I can see. The color really came out amazing. It's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm very happy with it. So now we are going to be doing a clear coat. Since I only have about an 18-hour life on this, I need to get a clear coat laid down tonight. So that'll give it time to dry overnight. Then we come out here tomorrow and take a look. And I just wanted to go over a quick thing here with my air setup. So I am running a 60-gallon Husky here. This is a single-stage compressor. It's 13.4 cubic feet per minute at 40 psi. I'm only running at about probably 12 psi through the gun, so I've definitely got the volume I need. And just looking at, so coming out of the tank here, I've got a hydraulic line, quick shutoff valve going into some black iron pipe. Now with this black iron pipe, the reason I use this is because this will cool the hot air coming out and condense the water vapors that are in the hot air from the compressor itself. So this is basically my first line defense water trap. Black iron seems really cold, so it's good. I wanted to run about 20 feet of it, but unfortunately the way I've got my shelving and everything set up here in the shop, I don't have enough room, so I ran what I could, which is basically about 9-10 feet of it. But yeah, so I've got my loop here, so the air will come up as the water's coming down. As the air's coming down, it will cool off and condense into a shutoff valve down here, which is basically just my water drain. And then from there we branch off into just 2 pre-filters here, which basically will get the rust out of the system. As you can see on the wall, it sprays the rust out. Because they're black iron pipes, they're not coated on the inside, so they will rust on the inside. So I will have some rust elements in there. So, and that's the main purpose of having the pre-filters here. From there I go out into a rapid air system, which extends out throughout the shop. But mainly we come over here to a central pneumatics filter system here. This is my dry air line. This is what I use going out into my blast cabinet and what I paint with. I've never had any issues with any water or any moisture coming out since I've been running this. I can run my blast cabinet for probably 3-4 hours, or I usually don't run it that long, but never had an issue with any water coming out. And from there, my hoses I use, they're not the best, but they are dedicated paint hoses. Nothing's ever run through them except for paint, so they're nice clean hoses I can run. And from there, just right up to the paint gun.